to form, how we wanted to form it legally, and it taught us how to get a business plan, how to make a business plan.
Yeah, because neither one of us had a business degree, or, I mean, I have a BA in sociology, but you know, to start a business, I thought it was the most helpful thing. All the little even tricks that the teacher would tell us. I mean, there are so many little things that you would never think of when you start a business, and it was well worth it.
And we listened to them, but we didn't use everything. So the nice little business plan that you're supposed to make, we never made one.
No.
And so what ended up happening is at this time, we came across a building up in the avenues. And this building had been there for years and years, and it was actually an old laundromat. The laundromat had burned down, and it was just a gutted building. It looked like crap. And we saw it many times, and we just started laughing, and we were just like, there is no way that we wanted to go into that shop. But as we kind of sat there, we kind of sat on the corner, and one of my favorite things, I think I took a view of it, that was what did it for me. And I get the chills when I still think about it, but that was taken from our porch, that little front step. I sat out on the porch, and what I envisioned was kind of what Katie grew up with, like a bigger city, a bigger atmosphere, but neighborhood shops right in the middle of a neighborhood. That's what she envisioned. And I just looked up the street, I saw all the cars driving up and down, and that's where we wanted to be, and it just felt right. So we approached the landlord for the building. We ended up going to the bank. We were trying to figure out how to get money. We had nothing. The funny thing is, my father decided to partner up with us at the beginning. We got a credit card offer in the mail for $25,000, 5.5% interest for the life of the loan. Wow. And that's what we started with. We went to the bank and went back and said, well, we need some equipment. And so they ended up adding another $30,000. We started with about 50? Yeah, $51,000 to $60,000 is what we began our business with, which is pretty much nothing. And so on that, we had experiences, sorry. But you know, the inside of the building was just, I mean, it was good. You can kind of see in there. So we put everything in it. We had to learn how to do the kitchen, the contractors to hire, everything. But I hadn't belonged to a Chamber of Commerce, so we didn't know any of you guys. And so it was just really a learning experience for everything that we had to learn. One of the things that we've had, like we've always had trials and errors and different things. This picture, that space, as awesome as it is, also has its limitations. So the heating and air conditioning are real issues. And in the summer, you saw all those nice windows, which are great. Well, in the summertime, it's also really hot for chocolates. And so we came in one day, and all of the chocolates looked just like that. I can't remember how many of these I put.
Those are boxes, chocolate boxes. Oh. That's a good thing.
So all of those were just destroyed. And it, you know, it was about $2,000 to $3,000 worth of product just in the garbage. And so we were kind of, you know, having all kinds of issues, all kinds of struggles with that. We have some fun stuff. That's one of our Easter displays.
Yeah.
Some other views of the shop. Even things like the menu boards. The menu boards, we started with nothing, and then we ended up just buying the masonite boards, painting the chalkboard on it. The mirror was a gift given to us from a friend, and you can kind of tell, not in this picture, but it was chipped on one corner. So we had it cut, but it's not beveled, so it's not even a perfect mirror. It has a lot of flaws, but we just started and just, yeah, I know, absolutely. We just kind of piecemealed everything together. It wasn't perfect when we opened. We opened April 9th, 2003, and I remember the very first day, our very first customer was a kid. He was probably 4 or 5. They could barely open up the door.
And he had a huge backpack, like it was practically falling to the floor.
And he came in, and I think he got an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
But we made $188 our first day of business. And I just remember thinking, wow, this is amazing. Not realizing we probably spent hundreds of dollars, but you know, $188 was pretty good for the first day of business. And all we did is turned on our open signs. So it was kind of a neat experience.
The neighborhood, the Avenues neighborhood, as well as many other neighborhoods, and like the community down here, was a great reciprocal. You know, they they welcomed us very well. It was a really nice thing. And I love that about neighborhood businesses, whether it's in Salt Lake or South Salt Lake, anywhere. And that was probably one of the best things. We do have challenge. I mean, what we did try to do too from there on, obviously we had loans that we were paying, and we were trying to pay $200-300 above our minimum so we can get it knocked down as fast as we could. But one of the things we always said, anytime we needed a new piece of equipment, we weren't gonna keep going and getting a loan. Of course, today is a different story, but we'll get to that. But we paid for it as we went. Whenever we wanted a new dipper, like for the chocolate melting, we waited until we got 10 grand and then would buy it. We did that with most everything from here on out. Like we opened with some stuff, but then from here on out, we tried to conserve and
we did that by, we set up different bank accounts. We had a separate bank account just for sales tax, so every quarter when it came around, we weren't freaking out where the money came.
But that actually happened after we freaked out about 5 times.
And it was good though, because we started surplusing, so we would put $100, $200 a week into that savings account, and then we put it into a money market account. We put it into different things that were still interest guaranteed, so that we were building some interest, and it just compounded. And then it did make it, when we had problems with the chocolate, we just ate the problem. I mean, basically, we just, it didn't put us under, and we didn't have to close shop because of that. It helped out a lot with those kind of things. But we also, as Kate said, the neighborhood really is amazing. We had neighbors that would go out and apply for food handler permits just so they could come in and help us. And maybe that's because we looked so pathetic that they felt sorry for us. But I just thought it was such an unusual thing that the neighborhood wanted us to succeed so bad that they were actually working.
And we were also trying to put out there, I mean, we were trying to really live to the small business attitude of really appreciating every customer. Nobody was a number, and sure, we're growing right now, and we hope we can continue to keep that. We want to, but I think that was a two-way street. We tried to reach out to the neighborhood as well as everybody else that came from Spanish Fork and everywhere else. But I think you almost, it's a, karma. You get what you put out. If you're gonna put out a negative tone or something, and granted, we all have bad days. I've had people complain about me because they caught me off guard, and I'm like, oh no, I apologize. I'm just trying to get this order of 1,000 whatever out. So that does happen. But overall, we do try to present, a positive outlook to each and every customer, and I think that's another reason why the neighborhood welcomed us so well, because we really try to reach out to them as well. I don't know.
And these are just pictures to make you more hungry for chocolate, some of them.
390 East 4th Avenue.
And you can even see, anytime we're even packing orders right now, that's a Costco table. You can buy it at Costco or whatever store. We just set up tables anywhere we can put them to pack orders for different projects. So we are kind of tight.
Over time, we became maxed out of space. That's a 2-foot, 3-foot Santa. Father Christmas Belgian mold that we got.
There's a shelving unit in the background my father actually made, and we just utilized anything that we could get from there. The plastic or silicone mold we bought in Europe. I mean, so it's just amazing, those kind of things.
So, yeah, we definitely maxed out our space, no doubt.
It's more. These are our Caramel Malone Krispies, but we've had them since we opened, and they're, I'm just trying to make you more hungry, so these are all subliminal. I figured that way if we're boring you in our speech, maybe this will sink in. So, now, you saw how tight our kitchen was. Kate and I, we had another dream. Basically, we were approached about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, by a company out of California that was a production company.
Long Pond Media, I think was the name.
And they worked for, basically they were hired by TLC. TLC did a reality show on us. Kate and I, until that point, we worked our butts off. Like, we were working as hard as we could, and there was our space was really tight. We had nowhere to put any products. We were barely scraping by. We were just hanging in there by our teeth. But we were getting to a point where